Mission Impossible versus Lilo and Stitch. Tom Cruise versus Disney. Who's going to win in a head-to-head matchup at box offices where theater owners turn out to be the only losers we can see? It comes at a time when cinemas are at the edge of collapse. Will they survive? Can this be another Minecraft? Maybe Barbenheimer? We'll see. Explanation right now. Hello, folks. It is a wonderful day to spend time with you, and we are happy that you have chosen to do so. As we get ready to dive into today's topic, consider clicking the like button. Also, if you like this kind of analysis and want to go even deeper, check out the Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/WDWPro. Without further ado, click the like button, and here we go. Folks, take a look at this. It's out of Screen Rant, and it says 2025's first major box office showdown is approaching, and a tracking report suggests it could be huge. This is Tom Cruise versus Disney. It's Mission Impossible versus Lilo and Stitch. Hannah Gearin has the article. It says the first big 2025 box office showdown is almost here, and early reporting suggests that it could be big. In 2023, audiences witnessed the highly anticipated battle between Barbie and Oppenheimer. As both films were released on July 21st, the Barbenheimer phenom benefited both films, with Barbie opening to $162 million and Oppenheimer getting $82.4 million. Last year, partially mimicking the weekend, was Glicked, which was Gladiator 2 and Wicked. That's not real. That didn't. Gladiator 2 did not do well. Per the quorum via Puck, hey YouTube, that's P-U-C-K, Puck. That's Matt Bellany Baloney. 2025 could bring a major box office showdown between Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning, yada, 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 yada. Okay, folks, and here's more of this. It's not Parrot Analytics, but it's not far off. Okay, here's what I really want to talk about. Gentlemen, I don't think this is good. I think this is stupid. I think that these movies are going to cannibalize each other, and I think that theater owners don't need to be cannibalized right now. I think they need separate weekends, and I don't know why this was decided, but listen, guys and girls and boys and everybody likes Lilo and Stitch. And everybody likes Mission Impossible. This is not like Barbenheimer, where the guys like Oppenheimer and the girls like Barbie. Everybody likes both of these, and I just think that it's a no-win situation. It's going to be a big weekend. Both of these movies are going to probably break 100 million, but they could make more if they weren't going against each other. Panel, am I wrong about this? What say you?
No, I think you're spot on, because take like Barbenheimer, part of the fun of it, it was the irony of it. You have a deep, serious movie about the repercussions of making a super weapon. The other film was a film about dress-up dolls. And you price all like those memes where it's like the girl, she has like the fancy pink outfit. She takes it off, and underneath it's like a depressing dark outfit. There was an irony, a sense of fun, something different with it. This, you have a little alien creature and a secret agent whose last movie, let's be honest here, underperformed from what we were projecting anyways. Why on earth would these two films benefit each other? I don't see anything that could, unless some Twilight Hour meme breaks out big on TikTok, I don't see these films helping each other in any way.
I think Lilo and Stitch, if it launched on its own weekend, it could make $1.5 billion. I think that Mission Impossible can be $1 billion film if it launches on its own weekend. I think Lilo and Stitch is going to beat Mission Impossible. That's what I think. But I think both films are losers here, and theater owners are losers, because if these were just on separate weekends, everybody wins.
So remember what happened last time with Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning. Everyone thought that movie was going to make gangbusters because of Fallout.
Top Gun Maverick.
But also Top Gun Maverick, right? You had those two things, 2 hits in a row that were Tom Cruise, and then all of a sudden, Dead Reckoning happened, and that was dead, like pretty quick. And so I'm actually thinking that I'll be shocked if this movie breaks 400, because I think
that would be very sad. By the way, Steve, you could be right. That would be very, very sad for a series of films going out that way, and I think it deserves more. And I don't say that about many franchises. Not many franchises deserve anything.
But did they really earn it though in that last movie? I don't think they did. it was such a, like, they pumped up the stunts, and
The,
that's all.
the train scene was good. The train scene where they were climbing vertically in the
Yeah,
train
but that's all
interior.
they did. Like,
Yeah,
the story sucked, and
yeah, the
so
story wasn't good.
and they, like, thankfully this time they're backing away from pushing all the stunts. Um, but I think that's kind of what let everyone down, is we were expecting something far more spectacular than what was presented.
You wanted Top Gun Maverick.
Well, we wanted actually, I think we wanted Fallout. I think that's what we wanted. Like, a
Yeah.
great story with great action, and they did not live up to that. And then Lilo and Stitch, everyone knows what to expect, and everyone and people will always choose, or typically choose, what's safe. And with that weekend, because it's May long weekend, right? That it comes out or something like that. Um, it's going to be, it's a family weekend, so it's going to be safe. I can see Mission Impossible hanging steady 2 weeks in a row, right around that same number, and then dropping. Whereas Lilo and Stitch, I'm pretty confident if they remain faithful to the movie and there's nothing weird in it, it might even bump up a little. Like,
So
I'm kind of convinced of that.
I've been trying to understand why Paramount, I guess, would have made this decision. There's a couple of theories going on. Apparently, Tom Cruise and Paramount aren't doing all that well. At least that's speculation, because I guess Tom Cruise's new home base in Hollywood is the Warner Brothers lot, not necessarily at the Paramount lot. So that's a very interesting dynamic right there. I'm looking May 2nd. Thunderbolts has all the PLFs, and it looks like that's gonna go on for 2 weeks, because I don't see anything on May 9th that has any PLFs as well. And then you have May 16th, which is Final Destination Bloodlines, that has PLFs, and then May 23rd, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning gets those PLFs. So I'm guessing they wanted this to be in a May release, but have some PLF support, which is why they're releasing this on this day. I just think it's obviously not the greatest window for them. There could be some counter-programming going on here, whereas Lilo and Stitch is more of a family film, right? This is more of an action film, so it's playing to a different demographic. But I think for that film to really have great support, you're going to want all four quadrants, or as much of them as you can get, and I think you're going to have some cannibalization there. Kevin, you were saying?
Hold on, before we go to Kevin, Vash, just so the audience, not everybody knows, what does PLF mean?
Premium large format screen. So your bigger, more, what is it?
IMAX,
premium.
All those very
like
large.
IMAX.
I thought it had something to do with the
Dolby
pancreas.
Cinema.
Okay, Kevin, go ahead, Kevin.
So I think, unfortunately, this is going to be Dead Reckoning Part 2, I think. Remember, Dead Reckoning came in and Barbenheimer was consuming all the oxygen in the room. So it was cannibalized. And this is a problem that the studios have been putting the theaters through for a very long time. And I know the theater owners are super frustrated with it, especially when you have your smaller scale theaters that may only have one or two screens. You're forcing them to make Sophie's choices when really they should be kind of coasting through their summers. And it's unfair. It also reduces everybody's earning potential. I think you're right. You have two movies here that really should be either $1 billion or close to $1 billion performances, but they're going to clash. I think the foolish mindset here is that, oh, well, they'll drop off the kids at Lilo and Stitch and Dad can go see Mission Impossible. But we are long past that. The ticket prices are entirely too high. The concessions are entirely too high. You got to take out a small loan to go take 4 kids to the movies these days. What's going to happen is Dad's going to say, I'll wait for it to be out in digital in 6 weeks and watch it on the big screen with the surround sound, and I can watch it whenever I want. These studios keep making, and especially Paramount, but these studios keep making the same mistakes, and I just don't understand what they're not learning here. And I think it's only a matter of time before the movie theater associations start trying to flex some muscle. They've been very restrained. You only really saw them come out in full force against the same day release policy, but they've got to put their feet down.
No, and this is where you're 100% right, because during CinemaCon, that's exactly what they were doing. The exhibitors were front and center at the very beginning of CinemaCon, talking about exactly the problem you're describing, windowing, and the fact that, you know, the length of stay in theaters is too short. They were rebelling against this, and most studios are kind of looking at it going, no, you're definitely right. We're not making enough money here. But windowing is the real problem. I mean, you go into this particular time of year, you need a 4-quadrant film. Mission Impossible is not that. They deserve the bigger screens, the PLFs, like Vash was talking about. So everything you said is 100% right. The industry across the board knows exactly what you're saying. They just are stuck right now with the windows that they built into this. And here's a big problem. You're going into a holiday weekend, and before that, I believe we're getting the A24 version of Thunderbolts, according to Florence Pugh. And that thing's going to be dead in a ditch on the side of the road faster than we could possibly imagine. So Disney's no better at windowing than anybody else. And if you were going to like set things up as counter programming, you don't do it on Memorial Day weekend, and you don't have a battle with PLFs. You just don't. Mission Impossible, the Dead Reckoning Part 1, terrible name. Don't ever do that with your films, kids. But yeah, setting it up for a Part 2 means you're going to limit the interest in the film. But the only thing you don't do that with was maybe Harry Potter. But this is a film that deserves the accolades and the time and some space to move in. And we've had nothing to get excited about going into May. I mean, the theaters were dead. They were deader than disco.
Guys,
And
logistically, Culture, don't mean to interrupt, but logistically, this film can't beat Lilo and Stitch. One presumes, I don't know exactly, but Lilo and Stitch is probably like a 90-minute, maybe 100-minute runtime.
No.
Mission Impossible is going to be 2 hours and 49 minutes. It's basically a 3-hour film.
Yeah,
so the opportunities for it to play, it's going to play at 6 p.m. East or 6 p.m., whatever the time zone is at 9 p.m. Or it's going to play at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Yep. It gets two prime time showings in theaters, if you can consider 10 p.m. a prime time, and that's it.
No, it's
some of them offset by PLFs,
well,
but
it's all about the logistics of it all, and you can't flip a theater, but like every 20 minutes, like after a film ends, and you have to wait, until you can chase all those, silly people out there who like to watch all the credits. I don't know who those people are, but they're out there, and they annoy me. But they annoy theater owners too, by the way. But look, you gotta get them out, you gotta get cleaning, and then you gotta turn that over so people can get in early and watch. What's her name? Rebecca something or another, or it's not Lopez guy. They turned it into a chick because what reasons. But anyway, so
message.
Sorry, yeah, we need more messaging. At least they're not telling you to eat the bugs anymore with Kidman, unless you're in given theaters. Regardless, like I said, I mean, you're 100% right, and we're in a weird time. All of the movies are going to be this summer. And then you have Avatar at the end of the year, which for some reason people are going to go see. But look, Mission Impossible deserves more than the $70 million it'll likely earn its opening weekend, and Lilo and Stitch deserves more than the $200 million that it could potentially reach. I'm sorry. There are certain films that if there isn't, I think Steve used my favorite word, a lot of weirdness. If they add no weirdness to Lilo and Stitch and it's shot for shot, you have a winner, a guaranteed winner. That not only am I going to go see. By the way, I'm going to go see 4 movies that weekend, and I'm going to tell you, I shouldn't have to choose like that. There should be 2 movies I got to go see. I either get the Barb or the Heimer, and that weekend we're just going to get too much, and it's going to wreck all of the films.
Culture, how much more money could this film have theoretically made if it came out at a time such as, say, Valentine's Day earlier this year?
Oh, yeah.
I would have loved to go and see Tom Cruise as opposed to Captain America, whatever that flop was, Something that people were snowed in and bored. Like, give January and February some love.
Yeah. Well, this was delayed famously, right? So they're trying to... I think
Well,
it's as
it
early
was.
as it could possibly be.
But look at okay, so you're right there, but January has always been terrible. If you talk to my friend Chris Score or anybody else, nobody goes to the movies in January. Everything just started back up. Life just rebooted for a lot of different reasons. I mean, not just the new year and all that, but school, relocation, all these other things, these life events happen in January, just the way it is. So February has now also become January 2.0. And it looks like this last year, March became January 3.0. And we're in a quarter full of doldrums, which nobody can afford. Disney can't afford that. Paramount can't. Nobody can afford that. So now they're competing for spots for the last 3 quarters of the year. And this is why the calendar looks like it does. It's dumb. And everybody's like,
A
oh, we
long
got
winter.
this tentpole. We've got a summer tentpole. Investors, there's a summer tentpole. No. Release your film when it's ready and window it so that you're not competing against somebody who's going to kick your booty, right?
This is not 10 years ago when we had, so many blockbusters that it was okay if 1 or 2 happened to be scheduled the same day. Theater owners need every dime they can get. Lauren, if you're available, I'd like to get your take on this. We haven't heard from you. And Lauren, who do you think's going to win on this? Do you think that does this make it so that Mission Impossible doesn't break $100 million in its domestic opening? Or perhaps is Tom Cruise still the one celebrity who can pull this off?
No, I think that Lilo and Stitch is going to get the majority of the audience. For one thing, people love that movie still to this day. And Mission Impossible is what, 7 movies in now? And the last one didn't do so good. It was a 2-parter. So I think they would be wise to separate them. And if they've still got time in the schedule to move the date, I think that Mission Impossible may blink.
We'll see. I don't think they have time. I think it's going to happen. Folks, will cover it. But right now, we're telling you that it was a bad decision, we believe. I think everybody's in agreement there to go head to head with Lilo and Stitch. And this is one time Disney might get a win. Why? Because Chris Sanders, a genius from 15 to 20 years ago at Disney who left the company, has come back for one time to save the day for the House of Mouse. So don't think that they're completely fixed. But this is one win that they needed, and they'll get it. Well, folks, we've come to the end of another video of pure excellence and fun. Explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. That's what we hope you believe we've just done. And why should you believe it? Well, because we've done our very best to make it so. To be true, to be factual, and to do what the mainstream, so-called access journalists simply won't. Folks, you can help share this out across the fruited plains of YouTube by clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, as we get ready to say sayonara for now, we ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep having fun.
Hey, Floral, guess what?
You put a fork in Pro's microwave again.
No, that was yesterday.
I don't know that what.
Oh, I've decided to give up on torturing Jonas.
What? Why? In the same way the cat sleeps like 20 hours a day, that was like your purpose.
I know, but I've decided there's bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
Like Lorne. I mean, think about it. Everybody loves him. He's a fan favorite, and frankly, he has almost no weaknesses I can find. Except that he's really smart.
So, you want to annoy the one panelist without a single flaw, because he's smart.
Yeah, like that winged statue at that fancy Paris museum thingy. I want to break the one thing that everyone loves most.
Right. So, kind of like the opposite of Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, exactly. And I get to see her all the time at family reunions anyway.
You get to see Rachel Zegler?
Yeah. She's a total troll. Lives under a bridge, harasses billy goats, the whole 9 yards.
It all makes sense now.
Speaking of which, maybe she'll get me... Okay, I'm gonna call her on my... I'm gonna call her and see if she'll be in the next Indiana Jones. She should be the next Indiana Jones. That'll totally destroy Lord. He loves Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's cruel.
Hey, Rach. I've got a cool idea for you that involves a whip and snakes.
I love that description. It's perfect.
I know, right? Weird, as we always say.